way back in Regulation C, I actually used a team not only on the channel, but also in a Regulation C Hartford PC tournament that managed to focus around Quaquaval of all Pokemon. Now that might seem a bit weird at first, but I actually got this Quaquaval all the way back as a Quaxly at the very start of the games through one of the first in-game trades I did with a streamer that I watched by the name of Mumei, and she actually just hit 1 million subscribers, and if you couldn't tell, pretty big fan. So we're going to be using none other than Booboo, the Quaxly, in order to try and see if we can make it work in Regulation F. But not just with any team in particular, no. We're going to be using the same team with very minor adjustments that we actually used in the Regulation C video. So if you guys enjoy and you want to see more content like this, of course, like and subscribe for more. And with that said, let's see how we made Booboo viable this time around. Starting off, of course, we have the same 6 Pokemon. So right off the bat, we're back to bringing Hooman, our Iron Bundle. This Pokemon I changed very little. The only thing I actually changed from our previous one was I made sure that with the booster speed, we could at least creep Iron Boulder as it's on the rise a little bit right now. And with Freeze Dry, Icy Wind, Aurora Veil, and Protect, it still keeps a lot of the same intent that we had with our previous set, while still being a really good support Pokemon, and with the Veil especially, it is very, very essential to this team working. I like to think that Hooman is essentially the glue of this team, and overall it just proves to be a very good support Pokemon, with Tera Ghost being a very good supportive Tera typing on this. Moving on, we do have the Pokemon named after, of course, our little bag friend here. And while Alolan Ninetales has been introduced at this point, I still do think that Abomasnow has a lot of purpose, and I wanted to keep as much of the team the same as possible, so it fit really well anyway, because I think this particular spread of Blizzard, Giga Drain, Protect, and Helping Hand does a great job at just showing how this Pokemon does a lot of work. Now, because we have actual viable Pokemon in the base 60 speed tier at this point through the means of Incineroar, I wanted to make sure that at least I can creep any sort of very low speed Pokemon, so I did actually change the spread to have 3600 speed instead of just the 0 speed, as this still is meant to be a Trick Room option if need be for opposing Trick Room, but it's not bad to outpace Incineroar and get up a really strong Blizzard if need be, or even just a Giga Drain into potential Tera Waters. Overall, this still proves to be a really good support Pokemon, with Helping Hand being a great damage booster for our offense overall, and it's just a great way to set up Veil and clear opposing weather, especially since Sun or Rain are only continuing to go up. Moving on, we have the star of the show, none other than Booboo, our Quaxly. With the Clear Amulet and Moxie still being very good, I actually changed nothing about the set. I think it was a really big carry from my team at Hartford, and I think that any other particular Quaquaval set would have just ended up falling short. Since, while Ice Spinner is probably a little bit safer of an option, the Tera Blast Fire was more so meant to help since this team is a bit of a Steel type issue. And I like the idea of just having a nice safe middle ground in a lot of types, because typically right now, between that Tera Blast Fire and the Brick Break, we have a nice set of options that can hit for any sort of defensive Tera that a Steel might want to go to. For example, King Gambit might lean more towards like a Tera Fairy, and meanwhile, an option like, let's say, Metagross might lean more towards Tera Dragon. So having a nice middle ground that can hit both is objectively good here. Moving on, we have Civilization, our Volcarona. Now, this is the Pokemon that probably changed the most, because our previous Volcarona actually was a more supportive build with Rage Powder and Struggle Bug. But this one actually just the same set that I brought to Toronto PC, with the Tera Dragon type being great for Ogerpon, since Quiverdance Volcarona is a lot better than the support Volcarona was in Regulation C. So I think that the Quiverdance set helps a lot, especially since Dozo usage has fallen off, and this team has a lot of good ways around Dozo anyway, to be honest. Overall, this Volcarona does prove to be a very strong option, and it's a really good win con for us on the special side, since we have a lot of really good physical ones. Moving on to our first special breaker, we have none other than Mooms, our Tera Fairy Fluttermane, with our choice specs and enough speed to make sure that we're outpacing the Iron Boulder if we can get a Photosynthesis boost to pop, or even if we just get an Icy Wind drop on it after it has popped the booster speed. With Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, and Power Gem, this proves to be a very terrifying choice specs wall breaker, with enough Fizz Def to take on a lot of common Sucker Punch users that are roaming around the tier, and overall, it just proves to be a very threatening win con, as well as a really good early game breaker. This plus Abomasnow has proven to be a very strong way around most Trick Room setters, especially for a Giraffe, which is the premier Trick Room setter right now, thanks to the Helping Hand plus Tera Fairy Moonblast boost, and a lot of teams will just completely crumble after I get that off, so it's also a really good means around that Trick Room. Finally, we do have our Baxcalibur, with an Assault Vest and an Adamant Nature. Overall, this proves to be a very terrifying wall breaker, and I made sure that our spread did get a little bit increased in speed. This Pokemon has enough speed so we can outpace any sort of Modest Raging Bolt, since I don't really see Timid roaming around ever, but Modest is still typically the preferred nature, so in case if someone does go with a really fast Modest spread, we should guarantee creep it, allowing us for a really strong Glaive Rush. I did swap out the Earthquake that we previously had for high horsepower because 1, Relieving is at an all-time high and it's only continuing to go up. 2, it does pose a little bit of an issue for this team, specifically with certain Teras and certain combinations of Pokemon. more so just as a good offensive piece against us. And 3, I don't really like the idea of clicking Earthquake into my team, and I don't really know why I had Earthquake to begin with, but High Horsepower is just a better option, and since that was added in the DLC, why not go with it? This Pokemon proves to be a really good option overall, and it's a nice wall breaker for just a lot of the team on the physical side. The roundup code's going to be on screen here, as well as the paste in the description below, and with that said, let's get some wins with this team already. Alright, and we're here for our very first game of the day, I guess. We're taking on a pretty interesting team. This one, I feel like my win con actually this game might be done. Looking through the matchup here, Torn is definitely going to be kind of scary, and we will need to be careful of that. So I actually think that Friend will probably be a backliner, which is a little atypical for how we play the team, but still not bad nonetheless. Actually, off with Hooman and Mooms, and then go with Don, and then Friend in the back. Not really feeling Booboo this game. I mean, with Brute Bonnet, Bastia Legion, I mean, there's a lot of things that actually really hurt Booboo this game, unfortunately. They must have known that we were coming on the ladder today. But it's okay, it's okay. There will be other teams where Booboo will tear through. I've done about 40 games of practice, and Booboo's actually probably came to around half of them, and probably won me half of the games that it's come to just through its own sheer force. So, you know, we got this. There will be other games where Booboo will be kicking ass. So, good luck and fun to my opponent. They'll probably need it because this team is absolutely insane. For a Regulation C team with very few modifications to keep up with the current format, I mean, it goes hard. Like, it goes really fucking hard. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I'm curious about what my opponent will lead. It's probably gonna be some sort of like Tornadus lead with like, okay, Clefairy and Regieleki. Not the lead I was expecting, but it's a very fine lead for us. I can proceed to just go for the Icy Wind here, plus my Tera Fairy and Dazzling Gleam, and just get off some really good damage into the Regieleki before it gets any sort of drops on us speed-wise, because that Electric Web could be kind of terrifying. So we're just going to lean very hard into damage as quickly as possible, because I think we can take out the Regieleki this turn. Even if they do go for like a Follow Me, that's fine. We have 2 spread moves, and even with Friend Guard, I think we could still get off enough damage this turn to where we'll be kind of unfazed. And if Lucky tries to go for something like a Protect this turn, then it only puts Clefairy in a worse position, so I'm kind of okay with that. We are going to get our Tera off first, which means that the Lucky did not Tera, because it could not have possibly outpaced my Fluttermane. Clefairy may have Tera'd, but why? like genuine question. Comment down below. But why? And then, yeah, I mean, realistically, this Fluttermane plus Iron Bundle combination should just do a lot of damage. We already get off a good chunk just with Icy Wind alone, and now we have the Tera Fairy Choice Specs boosted Dazzling Gleam. So we could probably at least pit off Regieleki with this. Maybe even Clefairy too. I know it's not the most bulky Pokemon, but yeah, it has enough bulk with the Violet to where I felt like that could actually maybe take a hit. Perfect. We've cleared through one of the biggest offensive threats to our team, though. And Clefairy is going to go for Life too. That's fine. The fact that is Clefairy's recovery in this game. Chef's kiss. Truly amazing. Truly amazing. Okay, so they're going to probably bring in, if I had to guess, Bastia Legion or Torn, maybe Bonnet. No, Heatran. Heatran actually comes in. Okay, so Heatran is kind of a problem, actually, specifically with how our team comp is. I'm going to kind of just hope that my opponent ends up going for, like, a Tera, thinking that we're going to go for some sort of Water-type move. And I'm just going to go for Dazzling Gleam plus Icy Wind. Okay, no, so they don't go for Tera. That's fine. Heatran can't kill both my Pokemon, so I'm just going to kind of focus on killing Clefairy first. And then we'll proceed to bring in my Baxcalibur, which is going to be a great way around Heatran now that we have at least forced it to be slower now. So we've also gotten rid of its Friend Guard, which is great because Heatran otherwise could have been a very bulky Pokemon. And if Heatran doesn't kill my bundle here, which I don't think it will, I think it's going to go for Fluttermane, which it does seem to be, then that's great because I now have a means of getting up Veil. And no matter what my opponent's last Pokemon is, because they're not going to set up Tornadus Rain on Heatran as the partner, we're kind of set. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go for a Protect and Iron Bundle, and then I'm just going to go for a Dazzling Gleam this turn. Most likely, I think that we're going to see an Aqua Jet come off from that Bastia Legion, and I'm kind of okay with it. There's not really a reason to let my Abomasnow break its Focus Sash, though, especially on a turn where I think I can get some good mileage. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to force them to get punished for not breaking my Focus Sash, because I do not think that they will dual target me. I think they're going to go for a Last Respects and Iron Bundle, and then most likely some sort of Heat Wave on Heatran, if I had to guess. Maybe they don't. I highly doubt that's not their play, though. So we're going to bring in Abomasnow here, though. Abomasnow gets a ton out of this turn, and I can definitely just go for a Giga Drain into the Bastia Legion right now, plus an Aurora Veil. Which Aurora Veil, especially with my physical defense, will help Friend just take this hit very comfortably. So we are very, very content here. Hooman is putting in a ton of work offensively, and just as a really good support Pokemon too. Hooman kind of ties the team together. It's why the team is so viable. So shoutouts to Bundle. Hooman's just doing great. But this Veil turn is going to really be what seals it, because especially behind Veil, Baxcalibur, aka Don, will be winning through this game with ease. There's not really anything that my opponent can do to that, outside of, I guess, the Bastion Legion, which is still going to take a ton of damage, because my opponent will have to pick between either guaranteeing the kill on my Abomasnow, or they're going to have to pick between killing my Iron Bundle and then taking Giga Drain. So they are going to Tera here into Tera Grass. That is perfect for us, because again, if they don't guarantee punish my Abomasnow by going for the dual target here, then I get a Giga Drain and I get a nice Blizzard plus Ice Shard on the following turn, which is going to be very huge for us. They will most likely go for Heat Wave here. I can't imagine they don't. I just don't think that their other partner spot is going to be into, yep, they didn't target the Abomasnow, which is huge, because now Bastion Legion is a goner. Okay, well, I guess it barely lives, but that's fine. That's still an Ice Shard range, so I'm very okay with this. And we did see that the Heat Train is slower than Abomasnow. That is very good information. So realistically here, what I can actually do is I can just go straight for that Bastion Legion this turn, which frankly, I should have been allowed to do that anyway. So I'm kind of a little bit tilted, but it's fine. We know the Heat Train is slower, so really this doesn't matter. If anything, I guess, you know, the Heat Wave miss into Bundle kind of hurt us positioning-wise, but it's not a huge deal. Really, it does. Actually, I don't even think it hurt us technically. It wastes an extra turn for no reason. Because now I get this Icy Wind off, sure, and I already outpaced T-Tren, so it didn't really matter. But I just wanted the position with Don in instead, because it's just a better board state to have. So now, for example, I can avoid the Aqua Jet, which is kind of huge, whereas I could have potentially gotten him back, Ice Sharded, and then picked it off anyway. But it's fine. It's fine. It's very fine. We did kill the Bastion Legion either way, and Hooman is going to go down, unfortunately, but we still get Baxcalibur in, and Baxcalibur is kind of a monster. Not only this, but we still have another turn of Hail. So between Glaive Rush and also the Blizzard, this Heatran is kind of a goner. It popped a Tera Grass when it shouldn't have, but even if it didn't pop a Tera Grass, I had high horsepower plus Blizzard, which always finished off the game as a guaranteed here against any common Heatran Tera type. So we're kind of set from this point. My opponent unfortunately cannot really do much, and especially with the Veil up too, the Heatran just kind of sitting fodder, because we have an Assault Vest and the Aurora Veil, and Heatran can never manage to kill us. So it looks like Donon's going to be stealing the game at this point, which is great for us. Glaive Rush will pop, and this should deal a ton of damage, and that looks like it kills. Perfect. Team is already working out well. We got a nice 1-0 victory to start off the video strong, and we'll see you guys in our second match, where I feel very confident that we'll be able to win yet again. Okay, so moving into game number 2, we actually have a very interesting team. Now, for these sort of leads, I love to lead off with Abomasnow and Fluttermane, because I can typically guarantee the kill into the Frigirath. Meanwhile, my opponent will almost never really try and just target down my Fluttermane. They never really lead with a lead that can manage to do so. So this lead is always a very nice trade, because even if Fluttermane does go down afterwards, it always guarantees the sequence off. From here, I kind of like the idea of going with either Baxcalibur, aka Don, or Hooman, our Iron Bundle. I think both have merit. I'm going to go with Don because we didn't really get to see much of Don last game. And I do think that Booboo actually is a really strong matchup. I do think that there's merit in winning off of Civilization here, but I don't really like it into Paute, especially if they lead Paute, because it's going to be a lot more of a susceptible game for us, since I don't get as much mileage out of Mumei and friends. So I think we are going to go with this. I think that this is a little bit more safe for us. I'm expecting most likely not the Paute lead, because Paute does really bad into my Veil Core specifically as a lead, and I don't think that they'll play around the team not going with Veil turn 1. So I think they are going to go with Trick Room instead, because Trick Room gets a really good position if I lead off with Veil. And that's the telegraphed lead here, so we're going to kind of have to play a little bit weird. I will say the Paute plus Trick Room is really good. I like that strategy a lot. It's just not something yeah, okay. This is much more what I was expecting. Perfect. Okay. Sweet. So I can get a Helping Hand plus Terra Fairy Moonblast and just I can completely massacre that Forage. Most likely the Iron Hands will probably just go for a Drain Punch into me. But even if they don't, I'm kind of okay with it. These Forage, though, never go for Terra turn 1, so I'm fully expecting like a Fake Out into the Abomasnow. Maybe a Heavy Slam into Flutter, but it's kind of okay if they do. If they go for Protect on Forage, that's fine. Good play on them. It's like a really good play, actually, that they do that. And I think if they have it, that is technically their best play here, because it's just a guaranteed way to kill the Fluttermane, which is a nice offensive threat. They never go for it, though. I've never once seen it happen in practice, even though... And I know Forage also has a lot more trouble running Protect these days. It's typically like Psychic Noise, Gleam, Trick Room, and then like Helping Hand. or ally switch, but you don't really see protect here and there. Even Imprison usually is run more. But again, if it has protect, I feel like that's the click here, and then going for like a heavy slam instead of some sort of fake out this turn. But also a fake out into Fluttermane would be an amazing play because it again still guarantees up Trick Room and it pressures the very obvious Tera Fairy here. But again, we really don't know their set. It depends on their sequence of Pokemon. They are going to Tera though. This is most likely going to be the Iron Hands. I can't imagine that Fridge is going to Tera here. Yeah, Iron Hands. It's probably going to be like Tera Fire, Tera Water. Oh yeah, Tera Fire. Okay, perfectly fine. I still have really good ways of beating this, and especially if we can guarantee our kill into Fridge here, then this is a really great not Mooms. It's a really great Booboo win con actually. We can really easily win off of Booboo. As long as they, yep, okay, they fake out the Abomasnow, perfect. That's kind of the play that we were expecting. So, helping End plus Tera Fairy boost, plus Choice Specs, plus Moonblast damage, yeah, Massacres Fridge every time. That's perfect. So we can kind of just keep doing this. They don't have a partner spot that can actually beat this combination, and until they kill either my Fluttermane or my Abomasnow, we're kind of in just a very free board state right now, because they've lost their Trick Room, which is their form of speed advantage here. Something that this team really does rely on. They're going to bring in Blood Moon. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. We're just going to go for the same thing. I have no real reason to not go for this. They're going to probably protect on Blood Moon and then just Heavy Slam or Wild Charge. They're going to forfeit. Okay, perfect. We're going to get into game number 3. Okay, so getting into game number 3, we have a pretty interesting team consisting of Smeargle, the Ogerpon, Rillaboom, Kingambit, Zapdos, and Fluttermane. Now this one's a cool team actually. I like this one a lot. We're going to go with Hooman and Friend as the lead. It's just a very generic lead for this sort of team. We're going to go with, I do kind of like Civilization in the back actually. It is a very difficult mon for them to KO. However, I also do like the idea of going with Mooms. I think that really any of these three are all really good backline options. I think specifically though, the mon that I am kind of looking towards the most is going to be Booboo. I think Booboo actually can win this game. I feel like Booboo can be a good win con behind Veil. And with Tera Fire, it actually is kind of a hard mon for their team to KO. So I think if we bank off of Tera Fire on Booboo, we can make this work. It can be a really good win con. It is great into the Ogerpon and Rillaboom core, especially because they don't really pressure it that well, especially since they're not going to click any sort of high horsepower immediately. And not only that, but I do think that it's great into stuff like Gambit. It's not bad into Smeargle because we can Encore Step around it. It's good into a lot of things, I feel like. And I think that Zapdos and Fluttermane can get muscled by the other three. So we're going to go with this. I feel confident, actually, this is the game where Booboo will go off. Not only that, but Civilization will also finally get a chance to pop, which is going to be great because neither have really done anything so far in this video. So good luck and fun to my opponent. We'll try and see if we can get another win. We currently have a really strong start to this video, to say the least. So I'm just kind of hoping. I'm kind of hoping that we can do some work. So my opponent's going to lead off with Kingambit and Smeargle. I'm very fine with this lead, actually. This is a very, very fine lead. Now that Smeargle can be a little bit annoying, but it's not a huge deal. Specifically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for a Protect, and I'm going to go for a Blizzard. I think Protect and Blizzard is my best play here. It gets me a good position because I can't really Spore my Abomasnow with the Smeargle, which is great. They also can't really fake me out, and in case they're trying to like dual target into my bundle with like a fake out plus Kowtow combination, I just don't want to risk any sort of like crit getting through my Ice Boost through my Fizz Death. So I'm going to go with this instead. I think it's just a much smarter turn 1 play. Meanwhile, yep, my opponent is going to go for fake out, and they are going to go for it into bundle. That is perfect. Already, right off the bat, we are getting a great start to this. The Blizzard is going to go off. We've now broken through Smeargle's Sash, which is huge for us. Objectively, it is huge. They're going to Iron Head my Abomasnow, actually, which is great because they're going to put us in range of our Focus Sash. This is where that Focus Sash does help a lot, despite the fact that we are typically meant to be a bulkier Pokemon. It is sometimes nice to just keep this thing around. Speed drop. Defense drop. Okay, defense drop is still fine. It's still valid. We're going to go for Aurora Veil here, though, and I'm going to go for a Blizzard. If they try and pick me off, so be it. I don't really mind losing a Abomasnow at this point. It just gets me a better board state. But the Veil is going to be what's important here. Because with the Aurora Veil, I can actually set up for my Quaquaval to do a really good endgame job. And I can pick off that Smeargle very comfortably with just a Freeze Dry now. Meanwhile, the Kingambit, on the other hand, has to take a very nasty Brick Break to the face, which will do a ton of damage. And I doubt that they have Brick Break because Veil has fallen off a lot and just screens aren't really seeing a lot of use right now. So I doubt they go for it. They're going to go for Burning Bulwark. So glad I do not have contact moves. This is going to be very fine for us. If they're going to go for some sort of, I guess, Iron Head into one of my Pokemon, it's not going to do a lot of damage. Even if Abomasnow does have to die in the process, I'm kind of okay with that. We also could just freeze, you know, we haven't gotten a freeze in the video. Despite how many of them I was getting on practice with this team, where we were getting freezes at like a 30% rate, we're not really getting any yet. Which is a little sad. I won't act like it's super needed, but it's a little sad. Speed fell, okay, perfect. So Abomasnow can now kill the Smeargle, which is great. So I'm actually just gonna go for Freeze Dry, and I'm gonna go for a Blizzard. Actually, so just to be safe, we're gonna go for Freeze Dry into the Smeargle, and I'm gonna go for Blizzard. Just to avoid a Sucker Punch picking off my Abomasnow, I don't really want to let that happen. So I'd rather just kill the Smeargle before it gets any sort of boosts that are kind of irreparable to actually beat. I'd rather just kill it. Yep, perfect, Sucker Punch, okay. So this works out fine. This works out very fine. We did our job with Abomasnow. It got uphill. Got uphill and it let us set up fail. That is perfect. Because now I can bring in the true star of the show. The Pokemon that you have all been waiting for. You've clicked on this video for it. I get that, I get that. I clicked on this video for it too. We're bringing in Booboo. We're bringing in Booboo. It's time to shine. We're bringing in Booboo. Okay. I'm curious what my opponent will bring in. If I had to guess, they're probably bringing in Rillaboom. I feel like Rillaboom's just kind of a safe Pokemon to bring in right now if you're my opponent, which I'm okay with. I'm very okay with that. If they're bringing in Rillaboom, I can work around this. They're going to bring in Fluttermane. Fluttermane is such a good Pokemon for me to bring in, well, for me to see right now. That is a huge option for us. Are they going to be booster special attack or are they going to be booster speed? Either way, I Tera Fire. They're special attack. Okay, that's great. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to go for the... I think I'm actually going to go for the... Let me double check something. So, I can so they're going to probably... We're going to go for Freeze Dry, and I'm going to go for Tera Fire here for sure, and I'm going to go for the Tera Blast into the Kingambit. I think that is my safest play, because then I can avoid Defiant, because Defiant Kingambit is kind of scary. It's scary enough to have to respect, I think. And realistically, this should put up enough pressure. My opponent will have to then get Icy Winded on the following turn, this means, if they don't just go for the kill, which, to kill my Quaquaval at this point, they'd probably have to go for Power Gem. If they're going to kill my bundle, I mean, Moonblast would probably do it. But I'm kind of fine with that because they're clicking Gleam here anyway, because Gleam is a very low drawback option for them, and they're going to go for a very obvious Tera Fairy this turn. On the Fluttermane, not on the Kingambit. The Kingambit actually Teras. Okay, that's interesting. But they're going to go for Tera Fairy, which is great because we still have a very neutral option into it that's going to be boosted damage-wise. I'm very fine with this. Very, very fine with this. My opponent, meanwhile, is also going to put themselves into a position where they have to then take a Freeze Dry on the following turn with my bundle that has a ton of boosts. So I'm kind of okay with this. This is a very fine turn to be in. And that implies, of course, that Quaquaval can't actually kill right now, which I doubt is the case. I think it will. No, it actually doesn't. That does very little damage. Holy shit. Okay, well, Tera Blast is fine. They're going to go for Tera Blast. It's probably going to be into Quaquaval. It looks like that was into Quaquaval. Yep, okay, perfect. So I'm kind of okay with that. That makes up for this. Okay, so we're going to go for a Freeze Dry into the Kingambit here. And I'm going to go for a Protect here on the Quaquaval, just to mostly get around Shadow Ball. I mean, Shadow Ball is kind of scary, I can't lie. But I do need to keep this position up at least until I can get my Volcarona in here. They're going to go for Protect. Okay, perfect. This is a very fine turn for us then, because I can at least put up a good 50-50 into that Gambit, which most likely did not target my bundle. And even if it did, it just gets me in my Volcarona. They're going to go for Protect. Okay. Still very fine, actually. I'm still very okay with this, because I still have Veil up, which is the important thing. That is a very important thing here. Now, what I can actually do, and technically speaking, this is actually probably my best play, is I can go for an Icy Wind here. I can go for an Icy Wind, and I can go for an Aqua Step. Essentially, this should help because my Aqua Step will kill the Kingambit, guaranteed. Fluttermane cannot kill me if I go for an Icy Wind. So I can get into a position where I should be pretty fine, actually, against really any outlet my opponent has. And getting rid of their Kingambit is kind of the biggest piece here, because the Kingambit is the option that could potentially revenge me off. I don't want it on the board. It is kind of scary for my team. Meanwhile, if Fluttermane drops the speed, though, it's not really an issue for the rest of my team. Because Volcarona can actually kind of muscle at that point. If it's booster special attack, I do guarantee creep it. That is specifically what the speed of my Volcarona is meant to handle. So I'm pretty okay with this, actually. It should be a very fine option here. So this bundle is going to kind of go hard. We are going to save the day off of Hooman. And they're going to switch out Kingambit, actually. That is still very fine. What are they bringing in? Because depending on what they're bringing in, they might also still be screwed anyway. They're going to bring in Ogerpon. Oh, baby, that is a great turn for us. That is a huge turn for us, actually. Oh my goodness. Because that Ogerpon now which was also a big threat to us, is now also having its speed dropped, which is very, very huge for us. That Ogerpon also cannot Tera, which is great. I can proceed to Aqua Step into the Flutter Mane very freely now, without my Veil being up and just pick it off guaranteed. We do live on exactly 1 health, which is amazing. Go Booboo. Okay. So we're gonna Freeze Dry into the Ogerpon, and I'm gonna Aqua Step into the Flutter Mane. These should guarantee kill. These should absolutely kill at this point. I could technically protect on Booboo just to be safe. I don't really think I need to, though, if I'm gonna be honest. I think that we can kill. I think we can guarantee this kill right now on both Pokemon. We're gonna go for it. I doubt they dual protect, and even if they do dual protect, I'm kind of okay with that too. They're gonna only protect in the Ogerpon. This is perfect. That is the perfect situation for us. Because now I can, because of Booboo, I can actually get into a position where I can really start fucking with my opponent because they're not gonna start preparing around it. So Aqua Step is gonna go off. We're gonna Moxie Boost. Oh my goodness. Booboo! This is why you're better than Urshifu Rapid. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Oh my goodness, I fucking love this Pokemon. This Pokemon, easily one of my, if not my very favorite mon out of Gen 9. I'm so glad that we're working with this. Okay, perfect. So, at this point in the game, we now need to go for the Freeze Dry into the Iron Bundle. Into the Kingambit with Iron Bundle. We need to go for Protect on Quaquaval. The game is now built around keeping around Booboo as long as possible until my opponent forfeits or they lose the match. I can bring in Volcarona when my Ogerpon, when their Ogerpon kills my Iron Bundle. I'm fine with that exchange. I cannot let Booboo die though. So they're gonna Sucker Punch into my bundle. That's still a fine play, by the way, because at this point I can just proceed to bring in my Volcarona and I can go for a Heat Wave here. They're gonna get a Sword Dance off, which might seem scary at first until you remember they are -1 speed, ladies and gentlemen. They cannot do anything. So anyone who might be watching this, they're guaranteed they've lost the game at this point. Because that Ogerpon right there, it is -1 speed. It cannot outpace Booboo, who is, if you guys didn't notice, +2 speed now. We are +2 speed. That is huge. That's huge. So, because again, we're playing this game in a method where the goal is to preserve Quaquaval, we're going to go for a Heat Wave here, and I'm going to go for another Protect, because the goal is to preserve Booboo as long as possible. This Heat Wave will kill into both of my opponent's Pokemon, and we can avoid dying to a Sucker Punch here, which was going very flagrantly into Booboo. That is perfect. We've done it. We have done it. We preserved Booboo and we got the kill. Right here. This is what this video is for. Shout outs to Booboo. Booboo, you did it. You proved you were better than the Water Bear. You proved it. You proved you are the best starter. You proved it. This mon is goated. This mon truly, I love this Pokemon so much. I'm so glad I was able to, it put up, that's the thing. Even just by existing, it put up enough pressure to where my opponent had to completely neglect my other Pokemon, which says a lot. It's just one of those things where the boost sometimes is just the scariest part. Now, unfortunately, we weren't able to make Master Ball in this video. Very, very sad. Cry. But we're very close. I'll show the record actually right at the end, because we are actually fairly close to Master Ball. So in the next video, oh shoot. Well, I guess we're gonna do one more video. We're gonna do one more battle because I've already queued up for one more. Sadly, I didn't get any points. I'm not sure why, but we're gonna do one more. We'll cut to that. What the heck? Okay, this is actually very fine because we happen to find the one person whose team might be even weaker to Quaquaval. Quaquaval actually has such a great matchup here, especially in the end game. We're gonna lead off with our stereotypical anti-Trick Room lead. We're gonna definitely bring Don. Don does a great job, and in tandem with Booboo, I think we could really break through them. My opponent has a very, very weak to Flutter Mane team, so Mooms is going to kind of go off. They will most likely lead off with some sort of really hard Trick Room team. I'm very fine with that, because whether it's Incineroar or it's Iron Hands, they're not going to be able to beat this on lead, which is great for us. That is very, very great for us. So we're going to proceed to go with the Abomasnow and Flutter Mane lead as per, and we should be able to break through very quickly. I think this will be a very short match, win or lose. Incineroar is probably the best thing I could have asked for on lead. Because unlike Iron Hand, it cannot actually kill my Flutter Mane, which is huge. Now, if they do Tera that Forage into some sort of resisted type for Fairy, this is really the only situation where it could go bad, but they never go with it. They always go with Fairy, or occasionally they'll go with like a Water. No real reason to go for that sort of Tera right now. So we are going to go for our stereotypical Helping Hand plus Tera, Fairy, Moonblast into the Forage. Because by taking out that Pokemon, we now open up a method to stop their Trick Room from going up, which is objectively a very good situation. If they for some reason fake out my Flutter Mane finally, which is, it's a good play to make. I keep saying that as if it's not a good play to make. It's just a play that they never make. No opponent has made that play on me, despite leading off with this play. This is my 8th time doing this sequence now. I actually found it out like midway into practice. And this is the 8th time I've done it. I've still yet to receive any sort of counterplay to this, and it's O-code every fridge. They're gonna go for Tera on fridge. I'm kind of curious. They're gonna Tera? They go for Tera Steel. There we go. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, we found someone who actually can counter the lead. I'm kind of impressed because, again, it doesn't usually happen. No one really makes that play into this, but it is objectively a very good play to make here. And my opponent, very big cojones for doing that, because a lot of people would not Tera their fridge on a Flutter Mane of all things. But you could tell that someone was like very much into the idea of getting their Trick Room up. Because as you can see, I mean, this is a resistant Moonblast right here, guys. Like we got over half damage on a resisted Moonblast into my opponent, which is huge. That's objectively really huge. We are going to switch, though, because I now need to regain field position, which is not great, because I didn't bring Volk. So not bringing Civilization didn't really work out in my best favor here, but it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. We're going to go for a Blizzard here, and I'm going to switch out into the Excalibur. We're going to go into Don Don. Don Don should be able to take a hit pretty comfortably. If they go for Flare Blitz, that's fine. We're going to boost our attack. And I can still at least get off a good Blizzard. I think that technically speaking, we're not the slowest Pokemon in the field, but I'm kind of okay with that. They're going to go for Bulldoze. Okay, so Bulldoze is fine. They're actually helping out my backs a lot doing Bulldoze, because just by dropping my own speed, we're in a better position to fight the rest of their team, which is actually really huge for us. Oh, their weakness policy. Oh, that is not good. That is not good at all. That is not good. That is not good. We're going to get so screwed over by that. Okay. So technically speaking, we do have an out. It's not pretty though, but it does rely on Booboo. It definitely relies on Booboo here. And that implies that we take this hit. We barely take this hit. Okay. So that's not bad. That is not bad at all. Incineroar will definitely still be kind of a threat though. That's not good. Oh, that's not good at all. Okay. So what I can do here though, I can proceed to go for, I can go for a Brick Break here. And then I can go for a high horsepower into the fridge if I manage to take a hit. I don't think I will, but if I do, it might not be bad. Realistically though, I mean, again, my goal here is just to kill the Incineroar, which I think I could do. I think I can comfortably do that. They're gonna go for my Excalibur though. They're gonna actually withdraw. What are they on? I'm so curious. Like, whatever they're on, I want that. I want some of that. That is such a good sequence for us. Because this is realistically huge. This is absolutely huge. We've now taken out the fridge, which is amazing for us. My Quaquaval is now going to be slower than most of their Pokemon, which is amazing for us, because I'm now at base 75. I'm now at like a 75 speed set, which underpaces a lot of their team actually, which is objectively really good. I can also in tandem with this protect around things, which is also really good. Okay. So I do need to make a little bit of an aggressive play to actually make this work, to be fair. But it can work. It can definitely work. It can 100% work. It really just depends on what they're gonna go into next. Incineroar. Okay, so they did go into the Pokemon that I was a little bit afraid of them going into, but that's fine. That is very fine. How many turns of Trick Room left? I think there's 2. There's 2 turns of Trick Room left. Okay. We're gonna go for a Brick Break here. Right into this. And I think they're actually gonna use 1 Fake Out turn to fake out my backs, because it is -1. And I think that my opponent will respect the fact that it is -1, because backs can actually get really, really slow. And I'm actually going to switch out into Flutter Mane with my other spot. Now, this is a very, like, go big or go home turn right here. But I do think it will actually have some nice merit. And I think that Backs is a Pokemon worth saving just to Ice Shard spam if nothing else. And because without the -1 speed, I can Glaive Rush and maybe pick something off. So, I'm going to kind of go for it. It's not my best play. I'd be very much lying if I said this was the best play I could probably make this turn, but it isn't the worst play either. They're gonna go for Heavy Slam. Man, I forgot that's a middle ground that Pokemon could have made. Oh no, I mean, it didn't really matter. Frankly, I couldn't protect from Flutter Mane, and if I died here, I died in the next turn. But man, I forgot that was a play that could have been made this turn. I forgot about that. I'll admit, I don't think I had an out here. I definitely don't think I had an out here, but it's okay. Because you know what? Despite the fact that we're ending off on a loss, Booboo got another kill, and that's kind of awesome. There might actually still be a world where Booboo can at least claim yet another kill, but it kind of depends on what that last Pokemon is. Again, I won't act like this is a pretty situation, but if it's not, indeed, I could technically maybe claim another kill into that other Pokemon. But again, not the best. Oh, it's Eggy! Oh, Eggy is a great Pokemon for us to be coming in on. Because Eggy can definitely take a lot of damage this turn. We're going to go for a Protect here. And I'm going to go for an Ice Shard in the meanwhile. because Ice Shard and Eggy will do great damage. And if they don't protect this turn, if they don't respect that, and they maybe try and just win the game right now, we're kind of cooking. We're kind of cooking. Because they can't Tera it. And they can't Tera at all. So it's a 4 times Ice Weak Pokemon that's going to have to take an Ice Shard this turn, which is kind of awesome. Depending on the plays that they made, they might still lose this. Ice Shard, kill, 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 kill. Perfect. Okay. So you know what? We're kind of back in this. We are kind of back in this. I won't act like it's a great turn to be in, but you know what? It's not unwinnable anymore. They're going to have you on the back. So that's a good play. That's a really good play my opponent just made. Unfortunately, I don't know if I can win this. I'd be lining up as if it was comfortable, but they're Life Orb, which is the issue. So if they are as slow as I think they are, which I believe is pretty... Actually, you know what? We know they're slower than us. So you know what, Booboo? You know what? I gotta break out the friend plush. I gotta bring out the friend plushie for this. Come on. Friend? Friend? Look at the camera. Friend? Okay, yeah, I had this here for the team builder, but you know what? It's kind of working. Friend, I need you to not let... I need you to not let... Don't let Booboo get paralyzed here. I need you to let Booboo get the crit, because that wins the video right here. That wins the video right here. Aqua Step go off. Can we get a crit? Can we kill? 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 Oh my god, no. We are so close. No. Oh, I mean, to be fair. Okay, so you know what? Hands is going to die to recoil. And honestly, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, it'll die to recoil. I'll take that. I will very much take that. Perfect. I'll very much take this. The fact that this matchup of all things, and especially like we got outplayed pretty well by that turn 1 Tera. And if it wasn't for that, I mean, to be fair, I could have clicked Gleam. I think Gleam might have had some merit. I think it was a little bit too ready to just go for the sequence that I knew worked for me, and that kind of sucked. But it's fine. I still think that the fact that our only not win of the video was due to a Pokemon dying to recoil, that's pretty awesome. So we're gonna take that. We're gonna very much take that. Let's check our rating. Let's check our rating, because I think we're probably gonna be sitting at around the same where we went into that battle, because we didn't get an update for a win or for... Okay, no, we did drop. That's a little unfortunate. It's a little sour of a way to end the video, but it's fine. It's still very much fine. It's still very fine. We're gonna end off for now, though. This was an incredible video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed and you want to see more content like this, like and subscribe for more. Shoutouts to all of the channel members for just supporting a channel. I really appreciate you guys' work. You'll have a video going up on the weekend. It looks like the best new Pokemon in VGC 1, so you guys will see that. Our current channel members are Zeke, Mia, Ralph Sakura, Obo, Endless Gadgets, Josh K Ultra Player, Incog M, and our bigger member VC Wee. Shoutouts to Vincent Wee for being a bigger fan, of course, as well as for all of our channel members. Thank you guys so much for your support. And also congratulations to Mumei for 1 million. Shoutouts to Mumei. We appreciate it. I'm a huge Mumei fan, so I'm very much glad that the team worked. And your Quaquaval will continue to still get wins in the format. I will continue to win with Quaquaval in this game and in the future. But until then, goodbye, guys. We will see you guys in the next video.